What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the, what do we call it? Deal Deep Dive? I think we're rolling
Deal
with
Deep Dive.
Deal Deep Dive. I like it. And so today we're going to be talking about a repeat client of ours and just sharing a little bit about, in contrast to our last episode of, a first-time home buyer and the complexities of her situation, obviously getting into real estate investment, right? Turning your first property into a rental, which we're big advocates for. We are
Huge.
We are investors ourselves, and then sharing a little bit about her deal specifically. And so without further ado, Tori is, like I said, a repeat client of ours. How did we meet Tori?
I think you met Tori.
She was maybe just a Zillow lead or something. We're pretty big online, and at the end of the day, I got connected with Tori, and she's awesome. She wanted to get into real estate investing. I think we bought a house with her like 3 or 4 years ago, and obviously back then rates were killer. She got a killer deal on a property. That's
Great
when
deal.
there was 30, 20 offers all the time.
Yep.
But then we get a lot of these clients who are converting their first property into a rental and then buying a second. And so Tori recently bought a house in Phoenix. And a lot of people think that the market is kind of slow, but this one actually happened to have multiple offers on it.
Yeah.
I want to say she really just hit me up last minute, hey, I like this house, it's cute. And I agreed. I was like, this is nice, let's call on it. And next thing I know, it's got multiple offers. So
Right.
with this one specifically, she had already worked with KJ as well. So she got plugged in with KJ. I think it was pretty straightforward with you, right?
Through the first deal?
Second deal.
Second deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. I mean, it was, there wasn't a whole lot to it. This was definitely more on the real estate side of Karsten just being Karsten and making a deal happen and getting some good stuff for it because there was multiple offers. We ended up not securing any seller concessions, which we kind of talked about in the last video up front. But that is where Karsten really is the best in the game, in my opinion, is he might not get those concessions up front, but he almost always will get them at some point during the deal, unless it's just a completely clean house.
Yeah, it's all circumstantial, and I think
Right.
that's the best part about the Deal Deep Dive is because people are going to learn a little bit about the concepts and the lingo and strategies and whatnot, but it's not going to be cookie cutter.
Right.
And so I love that about real estate. It keeps it interesting. When I got into the game, it was beating 20 and 30 and 40 offers at times, where today we're not seeing that as much, but I am seeing it on super clean, well-priced homes. And so when Tori sent this one to me, probably at 2 a.m, up on Zillow, like many people are, don't be scrolling through Zillow. I've got a search app for you. But she sent it to me and we were late to the party. I hate being late to the party. But at the end of the day, we got in. She loved it. And I called the agent and I let him know that we're very interested. And so sometimes the deal is the house. It's not always the concessions. It's not always the price. And it went over asking. It's not uncommon for us to go over asking.
Nope.
But KJ said, sometimes a lot of the magic happens on his side of the fence and I'm just in for the ride. And of course I make sure the contract's clean. But sometimes it's on my side and that's where it's really important to make sure she had the right terms. She didn't waive the appraisal. Or did she waive the appraisal?
I don't think she did, but I mean, at the same time,
I think she did.
Did she?
I think she did.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't understand appraisals or understand some of the lingo, reach out to us. We can talk about these things specifically, but I want to say there was cash offers.
Yep.
She was not.
Definitely was cash offers.
She was conventional, which is still really strong from a financing perspective. But I tried to pull some notes. I think there was 5 or 6 offers on this one. It was priced at... it was built in 1946. So it was an owner-agent situation. It was a flip. It was listed at $395.
Which is this was a few months ago, but this is an incredible area. I have a house down here.
Was it Coronado District?
No, it's outside of it, but it's nearby and it's kind of midtown.
It's Madison Elementary.
Yeah, it's a solid area for $399. And it had a pool, had a nice big backyard.
Really, really nice
All these
pool.
houses down here have big lots, but overall, this was a killer deal for her. And like you said, it was really just more the house. It was a great house. There's a lot of offers on it. It was super clean. So it wasn't so much like, hey, what are we going to be able to finagle? It's like, hey, let's get this house and let's beat all these offers. And then we still secured $5,000 in seller credits at the end of the day too.
In the end, we got $5,000 in concessions and the house was pretty clean. But overall, the deal was the house, and she wanted the house more than anything. And I'm just glad to say, and I get to say this a lot, I don't win them all, but we do very well in multiple offer situations. And so it's important your agent and lender, work together and get these results. Because I hate when my clients like, that was the house for me, and it's totally discouraging, but thankfully we win. We like to win.
100%. And one thing that I'll say on that is, so on these type of deals where there are multiple offers, and even if there aren't, something that I do proactively, plug Proactive Home Loans, but something that I do all the time is whenever Carson's like, hey, we're going to make an offer with this client, my first thing is, okay, send me the listing agent. So the agent that is selling the house, send me their number. I'm going to call them and I'm going to leave a voicemail if they don't pick up. I'm going to send a text message and basically just say, hey, our client, great client. They can, strong buyer. They have, income, assets, credit, everything checked out. They sent in all their documents. Basically just boost them up. Give them the warm and fuzzies. Hey, do you have any questions? Is there anything we can answer? And it seems like something very simple, but I can't tell you how many times listing agents will literally either text me back or say on the phone, wow, I never get a call from the lender. Like, it's so nice to have that. And then at that point, you got to think the person that's selling the house, the listing agent, is heavily influencing that seller. So if they have a few different offers, they might kind of lean, hey, this person has strong financing. Hey, I've talked to the lender. Hey, I talked to the real estate agent. They're really good. This is going to close. Yeah. Gives you a lot better chance in those type of situations to be able to get the house that you want.
And this one was owner agent, right? So sometimes you have an agent representing the seller. In this case, the agent is the seller.
Yep.
And so I will say, KJ calling and building rapport and sharing, between us, we probably independently have done hundreds of our own deals. And so we obviously know how to navigate real estate. But when you build that confidence with the listing agent and you kind of sell yourself, you sell your client, it's a key component to being successful. And so again, it was listed at $395. There was multiple offers. We went up to $430. Like, some people think that's crazy. But as I mentioned, there's an appraisal, right? So a third party, and you might better explain this, but a third party is going to come out and give the value or their opinion of value on the asset. And so my thing with my clients is I'm not going to let them overpay. Everybody wants to determine value themselves.
Right.
I think market value is determined by the buyer and what
100%.
Someone's willing to pay. But at the end of the day, she may have waived the appraisal, but I'm pretty sure we ordered the appraisal early on in the process. So as we're going through our due diligence, we can just make sure that that value is where we want it to be.
Yep.
Otherwise, we might have to reconsider.
Yep.
So that is a strategy that I've implemented in the past. It's something to be aware of if you're looking to purchase. We don't waive contingencies. It's just not something that I do. And if we do it with mitigating risk.
100%. There's always a backup plan. There's a plan B. There's a plan C. And we kind of mentioned in the last video is Carson's very good at also being able to, if we need to get out of a deal, we can get out of a deal
safely. We're not going to lose your deposit.
Exactly. There's no shadiness or anything like that. It's all within contracts. But Karsten comes from a contract background. He knows loopholes and ways to be able to get out of things that traditional agents aren't the best. I mean, it sounds what it is, but it's the truth.
It's black and white.
It's not anything that's riding the line or anything. It's a contract at the end of the day.
I've had agents who've been in the business for 30 years call me and they're pissed. They're like, I didn't realize you could do it this way.
Yep.
So I think that's another perspective, with Tori and her house. Like, she's super happy. We're happy for her. But she's a repeat client, right? Getting into investment. Talk about renting out her other house too.
Yeah.
Like, that's, she's cash flowing.
I mean, that's the biggest thing is, like, at the end of the day, there's two points to that. Is she bought the house and she paid over what it was worth. But again, not
what it was worth.
Not
over
what it was,
asking
not what it was,
price.
Excuse me. It appraised for what it was worth.
Right.
But over asking price. And a lot of times listing agents will put it lower because they want to create a bidding war where they know, hey, it's going to appraise for more, which it did. It worked out very well. But she wanted that house at the end of the day, and her payment on her first house we got her, I believe, was about $1,100.
Yeah, I was back in the good old 2%
in the good old days. And I know
days.
people are going to be like, well, if I could get an $1,100 payment. But, if you're somebody that is right now sitting on an $1,100, $1,300, $1,500, $1,700 payment, and you're like, well, I just don't, like, I want to move, but I don't want to move. This is perfect because she is now renting out her place for, I believe, about $2,000.
And that's where I come into play too, right? Like, I give an analysis of what we can rent your house out for, so we're in, communication with that.
I have 11 doors. Karsten has doors for rentals. We've been through it. We have We've done refinances, we've done purchases, we've
Right.
done all of that. So long and short of it is she's cash flowing almost $1,000 a month. So even though her payment might be a little bit higher than what she wanted, now that $1,000 can supplement the payment right there. And now she's at a comfortable monthly payment. So if you are sitting on a house where, you have a lower monthly payment and you want to give a chance to renting, you could supplement $1,000, $1,500
Yeah,
even
I've
potentially,
seen it.
depending where you're at. And then that goes right into the payment. So if you now have a payment that's $3,000 or $4,000 on a new house, but you have $1,500, boom, you're back at $2,500, something that people are comfortable with depending on your situation.
And you have multiple assets. We're big into generational wealth
Tax
and
write-offs.
accumulating wealth, tax write-offs, the whole 9 yards. So we have experience in that space. We want to share that with you guys. We want to provide well-rounded perspective for real estate deals. And I think that's just the most fun part about it. And so if you have a property right now that you're sitting on and an agent's telling you to sell it, don't. You might sell it to really upgrade into that property that you want. But give us a call. Let us have a conversation. We'd love to help you navigate the market no matter what it is, buying, selling, refinancing, reinvesting, investing, whatever it may be. We walk the walk. We don't just talk the talk. And so Tori's deal, it was an amazing one.
Yep.
She did end up getting $5,000 in concessions, which is pretty much a guarantee when you work with us at this point.
Pretty much.
And
Either that or off the purchase price, one of the two.
that's right. But at the end of the day, please reach out to us if you guys have any questions specifically. And we look forward to working with you guys in the future.
Yep.
Thanks for our friends at Pioneer Title for helping us out.
Thank you.